Greetings, everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's operator meeting. My name is Hannah Hickam, and I will be your host. Just going to give folks a few minutes to jump on, and then we'll get started. Thanks. All right, let's get started. And thank you for coming to the operator meeting today. First up is OGE reminder, and that's with Sabrina Trask. Take it away, Sabrina.
Good morning. Can you hear me, Hannah?
Yep.
Great. Good morning, everybody. I'm Sabrina Trask, the Planning and Permitting Manager, and I just have a quick reminder for those OGDP applications that go through a Cdphe consultation. If if any BMPs are either added to your application or revised in your application based on your consultation with Cdphe, staff, the OGLA staff needs to know about that so we can make those changes on your application. So you can either provide to us, I think Rick Coffin sends out a spreadsheet to you with a list of BMPs, and then you can respond to either sort of line by line in that spreadsheet, PDF it and send it to your lead OGLA, either to attach to the Form 2A, or if it's just a minimal amount of changes, then you can just email your OGLA, give them some new language for the BMP, and they can copy and paste it into the Form 2A. So what we're seeing is after the Cdphe consultation is completed, there are sometimes some minor now discrepancies between the new BMPs and what is on your permit. We're just trying to align and minimize those discrepancies. So for an example, if in your odor plan, you say you're going to use group 2 drilling mud, and then you agree with Cdphe to use group 3 drilling mud, now we have a discrepancy in your application. So we need to align or correct that discrepancy. So just keep that in mind as you're doing your Cdphe consultations, and reach out to your lead OGLA, give them either documentation or just some sort of statement, excuse me, that they can copy and paste into your Form 2A, just to correct any of those misalignments that happened throughout the Cdphe consultation. So just a simple, quick reminder. Thanks, Hannah.
Great, Sabrina, thanks for the reminder. And up next is Chris Meisinger with Financial Assurance Topics. And I will share this document. Great. All right.
Thanks, Hannah. Well, good morning, everyone. Before I talk about this slide here, I just wanted to let people know that the Form 3, we are very much close to finishing. It has been challenging in terms of the calculations and getting the form correct the first time. We are in the final steps of testing, and I will hope and assume we'll be releasing very soon, but please stand by and we will get it out as soon as we can. A question that came up last week from a couple folks was about the 12-month window being used for Form 3 calculations that's used as part of the option determination. There was some confusion about what the months involved are for that based upon the instructions were given previously. And I just wanted to clarify that previous 12-month window is going to be including 15 months prior to the current month through 4 months prior to the current month. Originally, I had put 3 months here, and that was not fully clear. And so I wanted to point out that correction. If you go to the next slide, Hannah, please. So here's just another slide, and this will be available. This kind of spells it out again. This is on our webpage for the operator detail page for the previous 12 months calculation, that area in gray. But it kind of just spells it out in detail why we are establishing the previous 12-month window the way it is, and it has to do with the requirement for submitting Form 7s to production reports and the timing of getting those processed and approved. And I just wanted to point out, as an example, the previous 12-month window is obviously a rolling window. And so if an operator was to submit today, the Form 3, or any day in September, the calculation would be then based upon production reports from June 2021 through May of 2022. So again, that's 15 months prior to the current month through 4 months prior. For next month, because that's when I think operators are going to be submitting the forms and putting them together, that would be from July 2021 through June 2022. So hopefully that provides a little bit of clarity with regards to that. There was one other correction that we wanted to make, and that was with regards to, if you could bring up Hannah, that other, if you have that website page open for me, please. And slide 6 or 7, slide 7, please, here. So this was a presentation that was given in early June. And then we also updated this in August. And with regards to Rule 703, D and E, there was some confusion about the requirements for statewide and individual bonds. And we just wanted to point out that for 703D, which is applies to gas gathering systems and gas processing facilities, that the change in the new rules is that the statewide bond will go from 50,000 to 100,000. There was some confusion about whether there would be a different amount for individual, but that was incorrect. And this is the correct interpretation of the rules, that the statewide blanket will be from 50,000 to 100,000 for those systems. And that includes, that would be for everything, so being a statewide blanket. I think 703E for the produced water transfer systems may have also had a change too, but I can't remember. In any case, this is the correct interpretation, that it's a statewide blanket from 50,000 to an individual 50,000. So that's all I have. Jane, did you have anything to add to this? If not, I think we're done, Hannah, and we'll just be happy to take questions or provide feedback.
Okay, great. We have several questions. The first one is, under name and address, it shows 10 active wells, but the financial assurance deadline shows as November 1st. Thought the deadline was December 31st for 10 and fewer wells.
The original deadline in the rules was going to be October 1st for, well, actually, okay, if it, yeah, between 10 and 50, it should be, it would be November 1st. If they are at 10 and it's showing November 1st, I'd have to go back to the rules because I think it might be 10 and less is the end of the year. Jane, please chime in if I'm getting something wrong. You're muted. Oh, I think you have to let her, maybe Hannah, you have to let her unmute.
I gave her co-host.
Okay, I got it.
There we go.
Sorry, I was muted. Yeah, the rules, the question in the chat, it's correct. With 10 or fewer is December 31st. So if the operator has 10, that's a bust because it should be December 31st. So I'm wondering, Allison, who put that question in the chat, can you tell us your operator so we can go look at that and fix it? I apologize for not knowing your operator, Allison.
Do you want her to email you directly or just put it in the chat?
Either way, whatever she's comfortable with.
Okay. And next question is, if we've already submitted a Form 6A but have identified additional wells for OOS, can we amend the already submitted 6A or do we have to file a new one?
You have to file a new one. There's no such thing as amending a 6A.
Great. Thanks, Jane. Next question is the goal to have Cdphe Bmps be included on the Form 2A and the Cdphe consultation tab when submitted?
Thanks, Anne. That's a really good question. Yeah, ideally, the applicant can proactively enter those BMPs in the dropdowns on the Cdphe consultation tab on the Form 2A. We do acknowledge that sometimes there's some sort of negotiating or back and forth between the applicant and Cdphe. And so that negotiation or those sort of finalizing might happen during the technical review, so you won't have access to the Form 2A. So just let staff know and we can make those additions or changes for you. What we're really trying to avoid is creating new conflicts between what is in your plans and the new BMPs that you work out with CDPHE. So just let staff know what changes need to be made. Otherwise, it rolls all the way through technical review and gets to final review and writing the director recommendation. And then we start finding these discrepancies, and then we have to call a timeout, contact you, confirm the BMPs, make the changes. And we're trying to not have that happen as we're trying to write the director recommendation. So we're asking operators to sort of be proactive, let us know in advance during technical review as early as possible so we can make those changes early on.
Thanks, Sabrina. The next question is, for option 1 or 2 plans pertaining to low producing wells covered under the blanket, how will the system treat partial wells? For example, if 5% of the total well count is 6.75, is that 6 or 7 wells that will be accounted for under the blanket? Is the system accounting for SWFA using 100,000 per location and then using related facilities to determine if there are multiple wells on the pad to calculate the single well reclamation cost?
Hannah, that seems like a couple questions. Can you give me just one?
Yes. The first one is for option 1 or 2 plans pertaining to low producing wells covered under the blanket. How will the system treat partial wells? For example, if 5% of the total well count is 6.75, is that 6 or 7 wells that will be accounted for under the blanket?
It's 6. We're rounding
Rounding
down. You
down.
can't have part of a well.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And then is the system accounting for SWFA using 100,000 per well or per location, and then using related facilities in quotation marks to determine if there are multiple wells on the pad to calculate the single well reclamation cost?
Yes. Yes, we're using the number of wells on that location to divide the 100,000 and assign a reclamation amount to each well.
Great, thanks, Jane. And the question is, my Form 3B has been approved, but I believe there's more to do. Is that what you were saying you were working on?
I think the answer is yes. I mean, the 3B is going to provide your wells with federal financial assurance that will be part of the, they'll go into the Form 3.
Great, thanks, Chris.
Well, yeah, to answer, is there more to do? Yes, there is. You have to file your Form 3
Form
of your
3.
wells. And then after your Form 3 is approved, you may need to provide additional financial assurance.
Great, thanks, Chris. Thanks, Jane. Next question is, on the Rule 703E on the produced water statewide blanket, 50,000 to individual, 50,000. Please explain what an individual is.
Well, the previous structure, the statewide blanket bond, if you had that bond, it covered unlimited number of produced water systems in the state. It was a blanket. And now you will have to provide $50,000 for each produced water transfer system. That's what individual means.
All right, I am not seeing any more questions right now, but we'll give folks a few more minutes.
So Mike, yeah, all the questions, our questions and answers are always provided in the operator meeting archive. We prepare, actually Sabrina does it because she types like lightning. She transcripts all of these questions and all of our answers, and that document is available. We are so busy scrambling to get the forms done, we're not even considering preparing an FAQ document.
Jane, I'm a little bit behind on posting the Q&As too, and I'm
thinking about changing the way that we've been doing it just to make it a little bit easier to get them up. So I'll get those up today though.
Yeah. Mike, maybe when we're done scrambling, working day and night to get
We would
these
have-
forms done, we might do an FAQ, but oh my goodness.
If we were to do one now, it would basically be a copy paste of all the other documents and it would be a
Yeah.
very, very
Hannah,
fast.
Hannah, can you drive on the website to show everybody where those are and what they look like in the
can, but I can
archives?
tell you, most of them are not there from the past few months because I have been behind on it. But yes,
Oh,
some of,
there's some there. I saw one the other day.
there's not any recent ones on there, I'll be honest with you.
Okay, well, maybe
Um,
Hannah can prioritize it.
Yeah, I can get them out today. Operator guidance, I think, and then down here, past meeting. So see, we'll have to scroll pretty far down to get to any. Here's one from August 9th.
So that's essentially a transcript.
I'm thinking maybe it would be easier to do it a little less nice than this and post a Google Doc instead of a PDF. But I'll look into that later.
That's good enough. All we need is the information.
That's where they are, right here. And you can see there's a few missing, so I'll get those updated today. Although if you ever need something and it's not here, if you email me, if it just hasn't gotten up yet, I'll email it back to you because that's easy to do. Sometimes it takes a little time to get the YouTube up or the Q&A, but I can give you what I have if you want to email me if you need the information sooner. Same with the presentations. Oh, let me see. I'm pretty sure I've missed some questions here. Oh, someone had asked, will the questions and responses be captured in a FAQ guidance? And so that's what Jane was answering.
Yeah.
And then next question is, if we have UIC wells type 2, do we have to have 50,000 per well in FA?
I can answer that. Or Chris, you wanna?
Go ahead, Jane. I mean, I
I got
might,
it. So the every well, even a UIC well, is requires financial assurance under Rule 702. If you have a commercial disposal well, which is one type of a UIC well, you will have to have $100,000 for each commercial disposal facility. And that is Rule 703, lowercase f, commercial disposal facilities. And actually, the document the page that's up there right now, the very last one, it shows that the financial assurance for commercial disposal facilities increased from an individual $50,000 to $100,000. I hope that answers that question.
Great, thanks, Jane. We have more. Okay.
Yes, the commercial means that other companies pay you to dispose of their waste.
All right, we'll give folks a few more minutes. Questions? Here's the remaining dates for the operator meetings this year so far. We've only planned the extra ones through October 4th. So October 1st will be resuming the second Tuesday of the month operator meetings, unless I'll send out an email otherwise if we're going to add more meetings to accommodate this role change.
All right. I think that's probably it for today. Thank you everyone for coming to the meeting. If you have any questions, you can email us. Otherwise, I hope you have a great day. Take care.
Thanks, Hannah.
Thanks, Hannah.
Thanks, Chris.
Bye.
Bye, guys.